the main event. Let's get ready to...
Remember how bizarre of a film this is. I'm talking absolutely bonkers. A little bit loony, if you will. Let me bring you back to 1996 and paint a scene for you. One that's forever in our minds. Introducing a young Michael Jordan playing basketball in the backyard with his father. Michael Jordan is sinking shots, and every single one of them seems to go in with no effort because it's Michael Jordan before he was Michael Jordan. R. Kelly is in the background just blaring that hit, man. I believe I can fly. Oh, yes, you can, R. Kelly. And yes, you can, Michael Jordan. We see where this is going. Skip a scene. Where are we? Chicago. The Bulls are playing. We're winning because Michael Jordan is here just dominating the court. And this scene, for the world, is the opening to the Quad City DJ's Space Jam theme song. Now, in a few moments later, we get to see Michael Jordan make his announcement that he's changing from basketball to baseball. This is as far as our trip down memory lane will take us. You see, at this point the movie goes really off the rails. We end up seeing what's going on in Looney Tune world, where Bugs and the gang are doing normal Looney Tune shenanigans. We get to see what's going on in a off-planet where Danny DeVito is ruling some monsters and decides that basketball is the main attraction. It is the 90s, we won't blame him there. And his whole goal now is to go play a basketball game against the Looney Tunes for absolute dominance of the Looney Tune franchise. But wait, what's this got to do with Michael Jordan? I'm glad you asked. Probably nothing, except Michael Jordan's one of the best basketball players of all time. Oh, too bad he's playing baseball now, I guess. One day, Michael Jordan decides that he's gonna go play golf, and then he gets sucked down into the golf hole into Looney Tune world. Yep, okay, this is where the actual movie starts. This is when we start to learn why this is all important and why Michael Jordan is even relevant to the Looney Tunes. We learn that in a twist event, the Monstars, or well, as we know them currently, the Martians, are capable of taking the talent of prevalent basketball players of the time. Some of my childhood heroes, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Muggsy Bogues, Sean Bradley, and Larry Johnson. And apparently Larry Bird's here too, but he just plays golf. With Bill Murray and Michael Jordan for some reason, but hey, that seems normal. And now, through sheer lack of talent and the greatest talent in the world, we now get to see Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes pair off against these egregious monsters that have stolen the talents of Michael Jordan's close friends and basketball rivals. Yeah, that's the movie basically, and whoever was on so many drugs to make this, props to you, because I really enjoyed it. I mean, I grew up with this movie as a kid, and maybe a lot of that's nostalgia, but I mean, holy cow, how can you go wrong with a basketball movie with Looney Tunes and Michael Jordan? These things make sense to me. Somehow the victory is the canon for how Michael Jordan got back into basketball and cut out of baseball, but yeah, okay, it's a children's movie, but it's fun for everybody, you know, because who doesn't like basketball, I guess? Growing up, I was watching the Chicago Bulls every week that I could. I loved basketball. Anymore nowadays, I don't really care much for sports. But back then, it was all about sports. And I mean all about sports. I played baseball, I was definitely into basketball, I watched every football game that I could, and that's awesome. And it really made me feel like I was involved because they took my cartoon heroes and put them against my real world heroes. Some of the best athletes in the world. And so yeah, it's hard to talk about a movie like this today, and conveniently we're having another film come up pretty soon. The thing for me is I probably won't gain as much joy in this, and that's okay. And I think the important part of that is that it's not my generation. This isn't a film that's directed towards me. It's probably trying to market to old Space Jam fans, but definitely to the new generation of basketball fans. LeBron James is no Michael Jordan. I respect his art. I think he's one of the greatest athletes to ever live, possibly better than Michael Jordan, but he's no Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is the reason that I got into basketball to begin with, and I know that that's the case for a lot of people. LeBron James? Maybe not necessarily. A lot of people are coming in from the days of Scottie Pippen and the days of Michael Jordan and some of the greatest athletes of the time, and we're coming into a new era of basketball. And that's how things work. It should work that way. LeBron James, Steph Curry, both of these two talents are some of the greatest that we've ever seen, and if not better than some of the classics. But for me, it's not a sell point. I find myself not caring so much, and this video isn't going to be about the new Space Jam. I'll probably do that one at a later date. This is about the 1996 classic. I think it's probably aged poorly. And I say that because back then, Looney Tunes was very different than it is now. Kids growing up with the current age of Looney Tunes probably won't find the same joy in the humor that we did growing up with the 1996 Space Jam. Those Looney Tunes were a very different scene, and I think that that's okay that we've shifted and gone through different phases of the Looney Tunes franchise. I also believe that as audiences change, the film should change too, and that makes sense why the 2021 Space Jam will be different. But as far as that age, the jokes are a little different, the characters that we grew up with and the athletes that we grew up with are definitely not that of today's time. So maybe this isn't the way that you get your kids back into Looney Tunes going into the next film. I don't think you need to watch both of them to have the same effect. This movie is a big piece of nostalgia for me, and so it's really hard for me to be unbiased about a review of a film like this. I mean, Bill Murray is one of my favorite actors of all time and somehow comes to save the day in the film. This is incredible to me, and probably won't die down anytime soon either. So nostalgia's intense, the love that I have for these actors is intense, the love that I have for the athletes of the time is intense, and so I can't give you an unbiased review. But what I can say is that even though I might have these biases, I still think the film is great for maybe my generation. If you're younger than 15, it's probably not your movie. But if you're over 20, I think you'll probably get a kick out of this if you grew up around that time era when basketball was at its prime. Not to say that basketball's not great now. Space Jam will live in my heart until the day I die, I'm sure, and I'll find joy in it every time I watch it. Whether or not I think that everybody else will. That's what I've got for you guys today. Come check me out next week. I've probably got a new movie for you, like one that's currently in theaters. Also, if you don't know, I stream with a buddy of mine on Twitch, and we talk about movies once a week. You can follow me down at the link in the description at twitch.tv/Leafshin. We have this kind of podcast mini-series called The After Credits where we get to talk about film, and we'd love to hear your input and what you think about my opinions being trash or good, whatever you feel. Also, if you like the content, don't forget to hit the like button or the subscribe button, or both. We like that, and we'll see you next week.